In the heart of the Himalayas, far away from the noise of the world, stood a serene monastery wrapped in mist and silence. The air smelled of pine, and the soft ringing of temple bells echoed through the valley every morning. Here, peace was not just a practice, it was a way of life. Among the monks who lived there was a young boy named Arjun. He had joined the monastery when he was just 12. Arjun was bright, curious, and determined to learn the path of wisdom. But despite all his efforts, there was one thing he could not master: his mind. Arjun's thoughts were restless, like a river that refused to stay still. He would lose patience easily. When someone made a mistake, he would raise his voice. When things didn't go his way, frustration would cloud his face. He meditated every morning, but peace seemed to stay just out of reach. One day during a lesson on mindfulness, the head monk, a wise old man everyone simply called Master, observed Arjun's impatience. The boy fidgeted, sighed, and tapped his fingers while others sat calmly. After the session, the master gently placed a hand on Arjun's shoulder and said, "Tomorrow morning, meet me by the river, alone." The next day, as dawn painted the sky gold, Arjun walked down the stony path to the riverbank. The master was already there, sitting quietly beside the flowing water. Without looking up, he said, "Arjun, tell me, what do you see?" Arjun gazed at the water. It was murky, swirling with mud and pebbles carried by the current. "It's dirty and unclear," he replied. "I can't see anything inside it." The master nodded slowly. "Good. Now sit with me. Let us wait." Minutes passed. The wind was gentle, and the sound of the river softened. Slowly, the water began to settle. The mud drifted to the bottom, and the surface turned smooth like a mirror. The master smiled and asked again, "Now what do you see?" Arjun leaned forward. "I see the sky, the trees, and even my own reflection," he said, surprised. The master turned toward him and said, "That, my boy, is the nature of the mind. When it is disturbed, you cannot see anything clearly, but when it is calm, the truth appears on its own." Arjun listened carefully, but the words didn't sink in yet. The master continued, "Every time you get angry, every time you react without thought, you stir the mud in your mind. You lose sight of reality. Discipline is not about forcing silence. It's about allowing your mind to settle naturally. Only then can wisdom reflect through it." The boy lowered his head. "But master, how do I control my thoughts? They come so fast. Before I even realize, I've already reacted." The master smiled again. "You don't control the river by fighting it, Arjun. You guide it with patience. The same is true for your thoughts." Then he gave Arjun a simple task. "For the next 7 days," he said, "you must carry a small cup of water wherever you go. Your goal is simple. Don't let a single drop spill." Arjun was confused, but he nodded. The next day, as he swept the courtyard, the cup trembled in his hands. When another monk accidentally bumped into him, a few drops spilled out. Arjun clenched his fists, ready to shout, but then remembered the task. He took a deep breath and stayed quiet. By evening, his arms ached from holding the cup steady, but his heart felt strangely calm. For the first time, he realized how much energy he wasted reacting to small things. Day after day, Arjun practiced. When someone teased him, he smiled. When the food was bland, he ate in silence. When meditation felt long, he simply watched his thoughts come and go. A week later, he returned to the master. The old monk asked, "Did you spill the water?" Arjun bowed. "A few times in the beginning, but less and less each day. I learned that when I moved gently, the water stayed still." The master looked pleased. "And what about your mind?" Arjun paused, then smiled softly. "It's not completely still yet, but I've learned something. When I slow down, breathe, and let things be, I don't lose control anymore." The master closed his eyes and said, "That, my boy, is discipline. Not in your hands, but in your heart." From that day on, Arjun changed. He still made mistakes, but he learned to pause before reacting. When anger rose, he watched it like a passing cloud. When fear came, he faced it with calm curiosity. Slowly, his mind became like that clear river, deep, still, and full of reflection. Years later, Arjun himself became a teacher, and whenever a young student came to him, impatient or angry, he would smile and say, "Come with me. I want to show you something by the river." He would throw a small stone into the water, let the ripples fade, and whisper, "This is your mind. Every reaction, every burst of anger is like that stone. You cannot stop ripples from forming, but you can choose to wait until the water clears." The students would listen in silence, and some would nod with understanding. One of them once asked, "Master Arjun, what is the secret to peace?" He replied, "The secret is not to chase peace. It is to train your mind not to run after every noise, not to fight every wave. True discipline is not suppression, it is awareness. The moment you know your thoughts, they lose their power over you." And that is how Arjun, once a boy of fire, became a man of light. His story reminds us of something timeless. You cannot control the world, but you can control your reaction to it. Your mind is like a garden. If you let anger, fear, and doubt grow wild, they will take over everything beautiful. But if you water patience, kindness, and focus each day, your life will bloom like spring. So the next time someone tests your patience, remember Arjun's cup of water. When frustration stirs within you, remember the muddy river. When you feel lost in chaos, remember, clarity always comes after calm. Discipline your mind, and your life will follow. Start today. Take one small step toward calmness. Before reacting, pause. Before speaking, breathe. Before judging, understand. Because the greatest power in this world is not strength or speed. It is the ability to stay still when everything around you moves. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs peace today. Subscribe for more life-changing stories, and remember, control your mind, or it will control you.